Greetings and welcome one and all to a new game for my channel, a game which I'm sure some of you have anticipated. Certainly everyone who was at the stream last night would know that this was coming, where I was learning how to play this game. That stream was remarkably fun. Dark Havoc had a lot of fun anyway. I don't think the citizens of my town had a lot of fun, not towards the end of it anyway. Dark Havoc likes to play with dams, it seems. Shenanigans occurred. Now, this game is, of course, Cities Skylines, the new city builder by Paradox Interactive. And before we get into the game, I just want to cover a couple of things. There are Steam Workshop tie-ins. I know that a couple of my subscribers have already started doing things like making their own maps, and you can get little highway to roundabout street intersections and things that people have made that are pretty awesome. I may actually start grabbing a couple of these. Certainly, if you tell me that you've made something like an intersection, a particular type of road or anything like that in the workshop, let me know, and I may pick it up and pop it into the game, as long as it doesn't seem out of place. Now, for those who were at the stream yesterday, where I unlocked a lot of buildings, basically you reach certain milestones in this game and it unlocks certain other buildings that you can do. I've reset the unique buildings unlocks. That way, none of the progress that I made during the stream is going to come over, even if I start a new city. So there we go. That is all done. Now, there is one thing that I'm sure is going to come up, and I'm going to address it now because I'm sure it's going to come up before we start the game. SimCity 5 versus City Skylines. I enjoy SimCity 5. I put a lot of hours into the game. I played it a lot. That said, SimCity 5 was not the game that I expected or perhaps wanted it to be when I purchased it. It wasn't the game that I was expecting from the next SimCity. And whilst certainly it had some nice new features, some fun new things in the game itself, there was a lot lost that I felt made it unsuitable as a successor for the other SimCities. Now, City Skylines is not trying to be a successor to SimCity, or any of the SimCities, rather I should say, the SimCity franchise. It is a new IP, and it is a very good new IP. To put it in a different way, a lot of hype has happened around City Skylines, and I think it deserves all of it. A lot of hype happened around SimCity 5, and I think it deserved only a bit of it. That is probably as much as I'm going to say. I don't like being critical of games, certainly of games that I've enjoyed playing, but at the same time, because I'm not just being mean for the sake of it, I don't feel that I should hold on to my opinion, and I know a lot of people are going to be interested in this one, specifically in relation to the question, I own SimCity 5, should I buy Cities Skylines? Is it enough of a different game? Is it better? Would I get my money's worth out of it? In my opinion, categorically yes. Absolutely, in every measurable way, yes. There's only one thing, and I've played this for several hours last night, that I could see that I thought, oh, well, that was a neat feature in SimCity 5. It would have been cool if it was in this. But that, I will probably get to it. In fact, at this point, I can't even remember what that feature was. It was so small. But I remember thinking that, and in fact, saying it on the stream. But in all the time I played, there was not one point where except for that one tiny little thing where I thought, you know, SimCity did this better. I think this is a better city builder, in my opinion. I feel that if you like city builders and you already have SimCity 5, and you're wondering whether you should get this, whether it would be enough to warrant the price tag, I think so. But that is probably the only time I'm going to be talking about SimCity 5 in relation to this. We are going to move on and start a new game. Now, the first thing is picking a map. Again, I'm fairly certain that some of my subscribers have already made new maps, and perhaps I'll check them out at some point, but for this one, I'll just start with a regular map. Now, Green Plains, River Run, Blackwoods, Islands, Shady Strands, 2 rivers. I'm fairly sure this was the fateful map that I played on the stream last night. Started out 2 rivers, ended up 1 giant lake full of sewage. Damn you, Dark Havoc. Sandy Beach, Diamond Coast, and Lagoon Shore. Now, you'll notice there are a couple of differences with these. Only one of these has a different outside connection. Now, All of them, except for 2 rivers, have road, rail, ocean, and air connections. 2 rivers does not have ocean, because it's just rivers. No ships can really get up there. They'll all tell you how much water is on the map, and roughly how much area is suitable for building on, and the spread of resources. This is oil, ore, fertile farmland, and forests. Now, these come into play when you can specialize the districts of your industries. Now, that is a completely new idea for city builders that I've not seen done before, and it is fantastic. But we will get to that. We will get to that. But the first choice is, where are we going to set up? Now, I kind of like the idea of having a bit of a shoreline. Sandy Beach, maybe. I'm not sure about that one, really. This place looks a little bit too dried out for my liking. That one's got a nice shore, though. Lagoon Shore. Though, that said, islands has islands. I mean, islands tend to lend themselves very well to interesting city shapes. Now, another thing that I did in the stream is I was just learning how to play. That was the whole point of the stream, was to learn the mechanics. So I built in a way to get as much population density so I could unlock the various milestones. As a result, my city was incredibly bland and boring. It was just basically a grid. I didn't like it. I'm sure that no one else particularly liked it, except when things started flooding and falling over in tidal waves of poo. I think the chat found that hilariously funny, but still, I wasn't satisfied with the city. I like my cities, I've said this before, I like my cities like the towns and villages that I've lived in. I don't like them to be all well laid out. Basically, they were planned before they even started building anything at all. I like the idea that, we built a couple of houses together because we needed it, and then more people wanted to move here, so we built a couple more houses and added a new road on here, a new road on there, and slowly, again, I like places which have got twisty-turny, windy roads with lots of little secret alleys with tea shops at the end of them. So, I think islands is going to be where we're going to go. And this really doesn't change anything, except for how you're going to have to think of the one-way roads, I imagine, with left-hand traffic. But we're going to go for left-hand traffic instead of right-hand traffic, just because I'm fairly certain that most of the world does right-hand traffic. But again, it's what I'm used to. Now, we want to have a name. I haven't prepared anything. So once again, I'm going to dip into what I'm familiar with, and perhaps rather alarmingly, we're going to call this Annwn. There we go, the city of Annwn. I mean, you, in a way, it's kind of cool. The Annwn was a place of plenty. No one had any wants in Annwn. Okay, so there's a huge amount of water. There's a large coast there, so we're going to have to expand down here in order to get ship access. Now, you may be looking at this and thinking, well, actually, I hear that this game had much larger areas to build on. They do. This is where you start. We can purchase more land as we reach milestones. So this would be roughly equivalent to a SimCity map, I would say. Again, I'll make a comparison here or there when it's going to be helpful for someone. But I would say that this is roughly equivalent. Might be a little bit smaller, come to think of it. But it's sort of in the same sort of area as the SimCity 5 maps. But you can expand this enormously. Absolutely enormously. Right, now, each one of these, I believe, is a 2x2 kilometer square. We've got one-way road coming in, one-way road going out. And we are going to have to hook all of that up. Hello, let's start building some roads and zoning the areas next to them. Buildings will spawn on the zoned roads. Yes, indeed they will. Got a little tweeter up here. Hello, this is Chirper. Keep an eye on what your citizens are talking about and what is happening around the world. You found me. I genuinely want a chirper for my desktop that just hooks into Twitter. That would be so fantastic. Now, let's have a look then. First thing we want to do, go to the info up the top here. Oh, we can't see it yet. Damn. That must unlock later on. I didn't realize that. Okay, well, I'm going to guess that this is fertile land, just from the color of it. This is obviously forest. And so is this. So those are potential good agriculture areas. Let's start out with agriculture. We're going to have to build up to it first, unfortunately. You can't move into agricultural specialization early on. But we are going to want to move there. There's different types of roads. There's highways. Again, most of these unlock later on. And first, we're going to have to build a regular road. Now, we can build that here if we really want to. Do I really want to, though? This is a regular two-way street. The moment you build that, you gain access to a bunch of other types of streets. That almost seems silly to me, to have that particular requirement there. But, oh, well. Now, what we could do, we've got a small roundabout. Small roundabout provides an easy way to help traffic flow freely. I kind of would like a two-lane roundabout, honestly. About here, leading out, so you could have the input and output for this roundabout. Just to try and... Managing traffic in this is incredibly important. And it's probably going to be what this first episode is largely about. We're going to actually take this away. Now, if I go for a one-way system, and then... Let's pause time, so I'm not paying for anything. And then we have... In fact, let's just try this. If you right-click, you can reorientate the roundabout. If we place this here... Let's see what type of roads it puts. They all one ways? No, they're two-way roads. Okay. Well, what we could do is we could have this connect up there, this connect up there, or even wind in. So you'd exit the roundabout there, or because you don't really need a roundabout specifically in a way. We could get by doing something a little bit more creative like this. Also, I would kind of like these to be upgraded to a larger road. So we'll click on this. This is the upgrade tool. This is straight. This is curved. This is freeform. In fact, I'll quickly show you something with the curved roads. I had a bit of trouble with this. Normally, if you're on a straight road, you're just building a road. If I click there, I'll build that road. It has nice little markers there for me. Now, if I click on curved, the marker is kind of dotted line. You click first to show the sort of angle of the curve, and then you move up, if you see. So you created a right angle for the curve, and then you just decide how big the curve is going to be. And that, in my opinion, is actually really, really useful. But first, we want to try and upgrade these roads. Can we? Yes, we can. That is fantastic. Now, what I would like is to have this road connect there. In fact, I would kind of like it to connect. I suppose it doesn't hurt too much. Has traffic there, traffic lights, which aren't great at all in a way. Let's unupgrade those. There's no way to reverse what it cost. See, the traffic light goes when I do that. But if I have the larger lanes, of course, it needs the traffic lights. Okay, well, that's fine. We'll just connect this up regularly then. Like so. They'll feed in, and this one will feed back out. It's not ideal, certainly not, but in fact, it might even be better just to have this be a regular road. Would that be better? It probably would meet all of our requirements for now. I was thinking far too big there. Okay, right then, we've got our initial roundabout so things can come in and they can go back out, and then they can get into the city like this through those sections, and we'll start growing out from there, I think. So we want to continue this road up to around here where there's going to be farms. Continue this road out around there. We'll get some housing around in here, or maybe out here. Well, actually, I wouldn't want to mess up the farmland there, actually. How about having some houses down here by the coast? I think that would be quite nice. And are there traffic lights? No, there's just a stoplight. That's perfectly fine. We could probably have something branching off there, because that's going to be a lot of traffic down this one road. Can we possibly increase that road, perhaps? Or is that going to add traffic lights? Nope, it doesn't add traffic lights. That's fine then. We'll go with this. That is going to make the traffic on this road so much better. So enormously better. Okay, right then, we want to build off in this direction. We'll have one-way roads coming off this, going around in a sort of, well, not really a grid. I'd like something like this instead. Then down to around here, and then over here to meet up with this road down there. There we go. Right, this is going to be our initial housing area. How we're going to build this out, I haven't decided yet. I don't want anyone living right on this sort of main street here. We want our citizenry to be a little bit happier inside. If I were to put this there, let me just test this. We'd have a little bit of overlap, but not too much. No. I want to leave them plenty of room. I like the idea that our citizens will have a nice, lovely space to live in. We'll place that there. We'll have a little street coming down here, a bit of a cul-de-sac. And a little street going up there as well. Now an awful lot of traffic will be moving out of these roads, which isn't so grand, but I think we can live with that. Let's get some houses down there and there, and we can add some larger buildings orientated to make use of this gap in each one, and perhaps some trees later on as well, I think. Now we're also going to need some power. Right now we have two options. A coal-fired power plant produces a fair bit of pollution. Also, the ring around the bottom is where the sort of pollution, both noise and actual pollution exists. The little sort of like purple drum with oil leaking out is ground pollution, I imagine, and the headphones is noise pollution. Then we've got the wind farm, which produces an awful lot of noise pollution, and these are the best places to put the wind farm. The darker areas, more wind. To the light areas, much less wind. Can't place them in the water yet, but eventually we'll be able to. I'm thinking we'll have some wind farm. We'll build it a fair distance away. Though the further away we place it, the more it's going to cost to wire it up to everything. Perhaps we could start with a wind farm somewhere around here. Can we get any 8s? There's an 8. Just there. Can we get 8 on the side? Really? Oh well. Wind farm there. Now, we're also going to want some water. Water is going to be especially important. Now, a water pumping station pumps water to the city from a body of water. Place the pumping station so that it will take in fresh water. Contaminated water will make citizens sick, obviously. Note that a water pumping station always requires water drain pipe to work properly. Road connection not required, though. Now, this is the flow of the water. The water is actually modeled. It's dynamic. So we can see that these rivers are feeding into this one and then kind of flowing out in that direction. Now we want the water to be gathered upstream from wherever we're going to be pumping out our sewage. And we are unfortunately going to have to be pumping out our sewage initially. If we put this here, then it'll be a little bit better, I imagine. So we'll have a water pumping station. Well, we could, if we're bringing the power lines all the way over there anyway, may as well go over here and draw in water from this section here. About there, let's say. Then we're going to need a sewage outflow pipe. The drain pipe pumps out waste water. Remember to avoid pumping sewage upstream. Note that a drain pipe always requires water pumping station to work properly. Now, ideally, I want to try and get this as far away from our city as possible. But right now, we're just going to have to put it here. Because it's pretty much one of the only places I can put it. There we go. Right, now, first thing we're going to want to do is hook them both up to power. Neither of those require roads, which is good. Now, the power, this blue line around the outside is the actual power being taken in by... This is sort of like the powered area of the building. So if I draw these pylons between these 2 points, that power from there will get over here. And then a long pylon all the way over here. It's going to cost a fair chunk of money, which is unfortunate, but we do need it. There we go. Now, these cost 20 per cell, or 0.48 per week per cell that they've covered. And they've covered quite a few cells. Next, we want to set up the pipes. Now, the pipes are interesting because they'll carry both water and sewage. Not in the same pipe, you understand? That would be silly. Water pipes carry fresh water to the city and sewage out of the city. Pipes must be connected to the water pumping station and the water drain pipe, but do not need to loop. So, we can connect it there. And the large kind of outline, the highlighted outline around it, is where it's supplying water to and taking sewage from. So there we go. And now from there, we'll bring it up. Now, the nice thing is they will follow roads. If you want them to, you can easily have them follow roads. They'll kind of snap to the roads for you. There we go. We didn't bring this quite down far enough. Oh, well. That will kind of break my brain. You know what? Let's get rid of you. Let's try again. There. That is better. Brain, no longer broken. Will that work? Yes, it will. We don't need to take it all the way in. We can just do that. So there we are. We've got our water network set up. The very last thing. Now, the thing with power, and this is a little bit of a pain. Do I have these active? I can check on streets. I can check on wind. I can check on happiness. We've got no one living here. Water and power. Now, I do want to see the power, but we're going to let time pass for a little bit. Space will pause. A local power plant is online. Maybe I'll get my TV working again. Reality shows 247. Ah, really? I'm not sure I want you living in Annwn. Hooray for the mayor! More green energy for the city. Green energy is good, yes. Right, we've got our first house. Now, as soon as that's built up, fresh water will finally be running in the city. Welcome, modern commodities, fresh water, Mayor rocks. Ah, that's fantastic. I approve of you, citizen. I shall put your name on the list, and the death squads will never visit your house. I mean, death squads? What? I have no death squads. I have dapper enforcers. Now, we have all of these places popping up. We can see that this one does not have power. Low density residential building. The buildings all have various building levels, and the higher the level, the more tax this will pay. Not enough electricity is the problem there. Now, what we can do is we'll have a look at the electricity. You'll notice that even though I've zoned all of this for residential, it hasn't got an energy grid until things were starting to be built there. So what we need to do is, now that we've actually got somewhere that is built, we can do this. If I were to build a pylon right there, we could stretch this out, hopefully, without disrupting my civilians too much. It's going to mess up that little area there. Houses are not going to be able to be built, but there we go. So they should now be connected to power. Bear this in mind when you're zoning a large area, because I found this out during the stream yesterday. Like, I zoned an area here, I zoned an area there, I had demolished an area here. All of a sudden, this zone wasn't getting power because there were no buildings in between the two zones to carry the electricity. I needed to use pylons. So it's worth remembering. I do like watching all of these places build. Now, you can go up to triple speed, and generally speaking, that's where I'm going to be playing this game at. But as a result of all of these people now moving in, we have a low demand for commercial and a low demand for industrial. We're still losing money at the moment, and that is not good. We're paying a lot on all of our roads. So this is a nice little place there. Soon we will have the ability to name this, and at the moment we can name everything. If we zoom in, can I see any citizens? Any citizens? Citizens, are you around town doing anything? No? It's a post box. I can't name you. I can name these houses. I'm not going to name every house in this game, nor am I going to name every citizen, nor am I going to name every dog or car that I see. However, I will be naming the utility buildings. So, because this is a part of a much larger utility network, it's going to be a wind farm eventually, but I'm going to give this wind turbine the name of the wind farm that will eventually be there. And then I'll give it a district, and then I'll actually name just the district. Now, this wind turbine, I'm going to be just picking names randomly from the master name list, and the first one up is Badger Stoat. Named for Badger Stoat 101. The Badger Stoat Wind Farm. There we go, Badger Stoat. The next person is rather unfortunate. The water drain pipe. You're going to be responsible for polluting our beautiful, beautiful rivers. And that will be raw weirdness. Actually, that kind of works out. Raw weirdness, raw waste. Disposal. There we go. Raw weirdness, named for raw weirdness. I hope you like your new waste disposal plant, raw weirdness. And finally, the water pumping station, which will be for Prince... Oh, no, really? Of Ruin. This is named after Prince of Destruction. Oh, we don't have enough for station. We'll just have Prince of Ruin, Ruinous Water. I'm not sure that I approve of having ruinous water in Annwn, but okay. Now, we want some more houses. And this is going to be a district eventually. So, you know what? Let's have a nice big curvy one-way road. Let's draw it out to about here, I think. And then draw it over to about there. There we are. And again, all the way out. And then down. Look how easy that was to make a lovely curve. Ah, so beautiful. Now, we're going to want a little one-way street. About level with this area, I would say. We'll draw... Oh, we don't want a curve. We want a straight road. It's not perfectly centralized, but it'll have to do. Now, we don't want that there, though. We want to build it out slightly. Can we just bring it down to there and then draw this across? Yes, we can. There we go. Perfect. We want some more houses. We've still got a huge demand. So let's get all of these in. There are different types of tools. Currently I'm using the fill tool, but you can use the square tool. And that will paint everything within the square. Now, interestingly, the square is orientated to you, I believe. No, actually it isn't. I thought it was when last I checked. Oh, no, there we are. Oh, it's orientated to the square itself. Ah, I thought it was orientated to the camera. Oh, that's interesting. So that is orientated that way because of that square. Very interesting. But then you've also got a paintbrush. So you could paint like this if you wanted to. I don't want the houses around the outside yet. So we're going to unpaint that. Then this should already be accessible to the electricity network because of that, but we are going to have to draw... we can't draw that in nice curves. That is a shame. Draw this up to the road and draw it out. Ah, damn and blast. I guess we're going to have to come up from there then. Well, actually, in a way that doesn't hurt. Let's bring that up and just... Oh, no. Is that? Brain melting. It has started. There we go. And I will keep doing this. It has to be done. Is that off? Oh, no. It's orientating with that road. No wonder it's all squiff. We'll just go with that. It's the only way that I can be sure. There we go. So we've got a bit of water going in there now. Let's start that up. So we've got a little district starting. I've built it in such a way that we'll actually have a district there. Losherman... What on earth? Let me open that up again because it'll disappear after a little bit. Los Herman Os Umbrellas. It melts in the rain. Fully biodegradable umbrella install. No! We don't want biodegradable umbrellas, you fool! Now, we do, however, want some some shops. We have got a huge desire for shops, but I've covered enough in this episode. We have started to get people moving in to our little city. They've got nowhere to work at the moment. Ah, look at these cars. You can actually go right down. You can name the car. Sports car. Owner, Taylor Harvey. Uneducated adult. You can follow the car. See where it's going. Who's just going there? Let's follow someone. Sophie Harvey. Oh, this is the Harvey family. They must be moving in. Going home. Where is your home? You parked a fair ways away from your home, to be fair. But you can follow just about everything and rename just about everything, which I'm loving about this game. But we will cover making the next couple of districts, and we'll get a little bit more progress made next time, because I won't be explaining as much of the basic utility stuff in the very next episode. I do hope you're enjoying this one so far, and I hope to see you in the next. But until then, and from everyone here, moving into Annwn, do take care.